It's another month, and we've got another cube from our LGS. I died in the first round playing white aggro, but that's enough about me. What we have here, our winning deck, is a green-white ramp deck. It's kind of an unusual combination, but we got a lot of powerful stuff here. We slide through the creatures. Got a Mother of Runes, which is actually in this deck just functions mostly like a wall, blocking and tapping, buy you into the late game. We got some mana creatures. We've got a Hex Drinker, which he told me won a lot of games because in this deck he levels it all the way out pretty fast. We've got little ramping creature. Here's another creature, kind of a commander all-star, but works here too. Just playing lots of lands. And then we've got Golos, who tutors up a land. We're not playing the 5-color aspect at all. We're just using this as kind of a poor man's Primeval Titan. We've got a Timeless Dragon, which is good because it's an early play, but then it's also a later play. And you can play it twice. It can be a 5/5 and a 4/4 later. Pretty decent, resilient threat. It's pretty much always useful. And we've got a Wurmcoil Engine on the top. Wurmcoil Engine and Golos are especially nice in this deck because we have Enlightened Tutor, so those are nice hits for that. The Enlightened Tutor can also grab. We've got a Face Fetters, a little bit of removal with life gain, a Batterskull, another life gaining threat to help make the game go along, and a Staff of Nin. It's also, some good variety. The other Enlightened Tutor targets are, we've got a Treasure Map, and then we've got a Chalice, a Prismatic Lens, a Worn Power Stone, and a Thran Dynamo. So even though we're playing green, most of our ramp in this deck is actually colorless. And then we'll go over to our other instant here real quick. Constant Miss. You can sacrifice a land for Fog. This is really good when you're just kind of riding a Planeswalker to victory. And we've got a couple Planeswalkers here. This one's more just for the removal and dragging the game out. But Ugin's a big mean monster. Definitely a game closer. Then we also get over to our sorceries. We've got Balance, which is a super classic. Balance is, he said in most of his games, he actually used Balance more as a mind rot, where they would still have a bunch of cards in hand, and he had basically ramped all of his stuff onto the table. And when all of your ramp is this artifact sources, Balance doesn't check on that. So if you play all these different mana rocks and you get empty-handed, but you still only have 4 lands in play, and maybe they have only 3 or 4 lands in play, Balance works pretty good as a discard 3 or 4 card spell. Then also killing their creatures if they're in that kind of situation. And what's kind of cool about Balance when you got all these little unimpressive creatures is you can just chump the turn before you balance, just knowing that that's going to get their creatures dead. And then we have another sweeper here, Sunfall, kind of a newer addition, but Exile's really nice, especially with how grindy and resilient a lot of the cube creatures are designed to be, to go that extra mile. It's nice. Then we're going to get into our land package, which is where the spice begins. We've got Dark Depths and Thespian Stage. It's funny that the green-white from last month had a Knight of the Reliquary. And this time we've got green-white. Would have loved a Knight of the Reliquary, but didn't get it. But we've got a Dark Depths and a Thespian Stage. And then we've got a Cave of the Frost Dragon. Weakest of the cycle. Still a 3/4 flyer. This is still great. And then we've got Temple Garden and a Canopy Vista, which is a constant reminder that I need to sort this in the near future, pull the lands out, and get the Surveil cycle in here, because the Surveil cycle from Murders of Karlov Manor is really good. And then we've got another 13 lands there, so we're playing 18 lands, but it's more like a 17 because Dark Depths doesn't actually add mana on its own right. And then that's the deck. And we're going to go over to the sideboard. And that's not a lot of threats there. And it is a lot of mana. Once you take the 17 lands and then you add these 4 in the mid. So it really is about playing just a big card that really turns the tables. You know, you only need 1 if they can't really deal with it. And then we've got some sideboard stuff here. We got a random map excavator. Doesn't have any fetch lands in this list, but if he was playing against like a mono green Stompy or, you know, some sort of aggro deck that is removal light, he can potentially get a constant mislock on this guy. So that makes that kind of cool. And then we've got a Rex Sage as an artifact enchantment answer on top of the face fetters. And then we got a Wrath of God for when he plays the aggro decks, just wants to bring in a second sweeper. And so congratulations to Wiley, and we'll do another cube report next month.